Hello everyone, this is a guide to the fight kiln for people who are trying to get their first capes. If you're interested in doing kiln for money, just click the link on the screen here and I've got a guide to doing speed fight kilns, so that should be helpful. It's pretty good cash with the on-extreme reward. And if you're not interested in that and you're just interested in getting your first cape, then keep watching. I've got a bunch of tips and tricks in the description as well as a full listing of all of the waves and the tips that I have for each of them. So if you don't really want to watch the video or you just want to watch certain parts, take a look at that list. It's in the paste bin link down there. So onto the gear. For the gear for Fight Kiln, I've just got a random setup that I did it with here. I believe this entire set is worth about 18 mil, which really isn't too bad considering what you're going to be beating with it. So you can of course replace some of it with other gear. The Goliath gloves you could replace with melee weapon plus Barrow's gloves. The comp cape there you could replace with a Soul Wars cape. Most of the stuff can be upgraded or even downgraded a little bit, but it's not a big deal. The more important thing compared to gear is knowing what to do on each wave and being able to prayer switch on Jads. So that brings us on to the wave by wave guide. So as I mentioned before, if you don't want to listen through the whole thing, you can just look through the description and look at the paste bin link, or you can just go directly to different waves. I've got all of the times linked in the description there. So for waves 1 to 20 you can pretty much do the same thing. There are a couple exceptions, but in general you can use this L-shaped rock as a safe spot. And it's not completely safe. The monsters can come up to you and attack you, but you can see them coming and you can pray accordingly. So it's pretty nice. But anyway, I'll talk about the exceptions now. So the first exception is on wave 5. And on wave 5, it's all rangers plus a dill, which is the armadillo, which you have to kill with a pickaxe, or using a familiar, or using dreadnips. But anyway, so for wave 5, just start out wherever you want and just use range protect, kill all the rangers, and go to the north wall and trap the dill on a rock there, and then use the pickaxe to break its shell and then kill it. Also, I didn't mention it earlier, but there's a way to kill dills and actually the Jads as well without having them hurt you back, and it's called flinching. Smokey91 and 2 made a really good guide about it, and I've linked that in the description. But pretty much you just stand a square or two away from it, click on it to attack it, and then click back to where you were standing, and it'll do the attack and it won't let it attack back, and then you just need to wait for its health bar to go away and then you do it again. And yeah, that's really useful for dills because they can hurt you quite a lot if they do their special attack. So it's really useful for them. I'll talk more about it for Jads later though. Wave 7 can be done just using the L safe spot, but I find this method works better. In wave 7 it's all rangers with one mage, so if you take out the mage first then you're safe for the rest of the wave. So start out in the southeast corner, use range protect or mage protect. If you use mage protect you can only use it for the first hit or so and then switch to range protect. So just kill the mage as soon as you can and then switch to melee gear and kill the other rangers. Wave 10 doesn't actually have an exception, I just thought I'd mention it because it has a Jad in it. So if you start out in the safe spot you can kill the ranger that it spawns right next to when you start, and then go to the west and kill Jad. The alternative is if you want to do the flinching method on Jad, you can start out in the center of the map. There's that rock right in the center, stay on the north side of it and on the eastern square, and then Jad and the ranger will both get trapped and you can kill them that way. But yeah, that's, I don't know, I don't really recommend flinching. It's a lot slower and it's pretty boring, but it is an option. You want to start out in the southwest corner, wear melee gear and use range protect, and kill the ranger there, just melee it, and then go north and kill the other one. As soon as you see the mages coming from the eastern side of the screen on your minimap, you need to switch to mage protect, and since you're using mage protect while in melee gear, the ranger shouldn't be hurting you much and the mages won't be hurting you at all really. So that should work, and then once you kill the ranger, just switch to range gear and kill the mages. For wave 13, you can continue using the L save spot. The only mention for this wave is that you want to use the range crystal as soon as the wave begins, And once this range crystal wears off, you can use the Constitution crystal if you want to. It's sort of useful for the waves around waves like 17 and 18. On wave 18, you want to start out in the northwest corner. Use magic protect and wear melee gear, kill the ranger, and then run directly east. Don't run too far east, but if you run about directly north of the center and then you switch to mage gear, you can kill the meleeer who's trapped there, then go south and kill the ranger, and then just kill all of the mages. Wave 19 is relatively easy. It's all mages and one armadillo, and you can trap the armadillo on the eastern side of the arena, sort of the middle and the east. As you can see in the video, there's a rock here that juts out, so you can trap it really easily there, and then dreadnip and pickaxe it pretty easy. Wave 20 is just like wave 10, it's another Jad. You can trap it in the middle if you want to do the flinching method, or you can just stay and kill it normally. I recommend using a magic crystal on this wave because it'll last for the next few waves, which are all meleeers. So if you want to flinch it, start in the middle. If you don't, then start in a safe spot, kill the mage, then kill Jad. Nothing to it. Waves 21 to 23, you just mage with melee protect on. Very easy. On wave 24, stand on the eastern side of the center rock, use melee protect, and just mage all of the meleeers, and then kill the ranger after they're all dead. Pretty easy. Wave 25 is a little bit more tricky. You start out in the north side of the center rock on the eastern square. It has to be that eastern square, otherwise this won't work. Use range protect, and then you have to use a long range attack style to kill the rangers, otherwise you won't stay behind the rock and the mage to the south will be able to hurt you. So use range protect, and in this example I'm using polypore on long range. If you're a pure and you don't want to get defense, then you should just use a normal magic spell, something like I don't know, a barrage spell or something like that. Polypore is separate from normal magic spells and its normal attack isn't as long range. So I use long range on polypore to kill the rangers, and then switch to mage protect to kill the meleeers, and then range to level 400. 26 is quite similar to 25, except for the fact that it's a mage and a ranger who spawn to the north. So you have to start out with mage protect, and you will be getting hurt by the ranger. Hopefully it won't be too much, but you will be getting hurt a little bit. So be careful to safe up and not to die. So you do the same thing, use long range on polypore, or use a magic spell, or use like a sighted magic longbow, zarite bow, crystal bow, something like that, to kill the ranger to the northwest. And then you just mage the meleeers and then kill the level 400s. 27 is a nice easy relief after 25 and 26. For 27 you stand in the northwest corner, use range protect and kill the ranger, then stay northwest, switch to melee protect, and use mage to kill all of the meleeers. Do not go south, otherwise the mage to the east will get unstuck and it'll come and be attacking you, and that's not fun. So if you just stay in there you'll be safe. And then once the meleeers are dead, use mage protect and kill the mage to the east. 28 is easy if you know how to do it, otherwise it's a little bit tricky. You need to be sure to safe up because the Dill special attack can hit up to around 300 damage I believe, and if you get hit by a couple of them at once, if you're unlucky, you could get KO'd quite easily. So make sure to stay safed up. So you start out in the spot shown here. It's a little bit southwest of the rock that's jutting down there, and if you do it correctly you can stand there, then go directly north and then go a step or two east, and you'll get both of them stuck. Make sure you kill the western one first, otherwise if you kill the southern one it makes the western one get unstuck. So kill the western one first and then kill the southern one, and then kill the level 400 mage and trap all of them in the center, and either kill them with Dill or do the flinching method using your pickaxe to kill all the rest. Also, if you're having trouble flinching, make sure to take a look at that link in the description to Smokey912's flinching guide. It explains it in much better detail than I do here. 29, you just use a magic crystal and mage them all. 30, you're still using the magic crystal, it'll still be active, so just stand in the northern side of the middle rock on the eastern square and use melee protect, kill all the meleeers, and then kill Jad. Be careful of killing the southeastern meleeer, because if you kill it, then Jad can come a little bit to the east and it will be able to attack you unless you're standing on the north side of the rock. So just be careful with that a little bit. 31 is all rangers, 32 is all meleeers. so not much to say there, just protect from them and kill them. For 33, it's a little bit more tricky. You have to stand in the same northern side of the rock on the eastern square, wait until the southern mages get stuck, and then go directly north and range the mages. For 34, stand on the same spot as you've been standing in the last few waves, use melee protect and kill the meleeer, and then kill Jad, and then the ranger. These few waves are mostly just about where to stand in a safe spot. That's the most important bit. For 35, there isn't any really good way to do it. There are a few little tricks that you can do, but the best way that I've found is just to use an invulnerability crystal here. Use it right when the message for wave 35 appears, and make sure you're not using another crystal at the same time, because you can't use an invulnerability crystal at the same time as you have another one active. So be wary of that. So if you use your invulnerability crystal, just kill the meleeer first and then kill Jad. I recommend prayer switching even if you've got your invulnerability crystal up. First of all, it's just good practice, but also if your invulnerability crystal drops, then you don't want to be not prayer switching. 36, use the same safe spot and kill the Jads one by one. Personally, I use a magic crystal on this wave, but if you're low on brews, you shouldn't use it because the lower defense will really hurt you in the next wave. So yeah, you just kill the 2 Jads. For wave 37, the final wave, remember to start a timer when the wave starts so you know when it spawns. According to RS Wiki, it takes 42 seconds for it to spawn, then it stays up for 27 and goes back down for another 42 and just keeps repeating that. So whenever it goes down into the lava, you can reset your timer and it'll be another 42 seconds till it spawns. I usually just go by 45 seconds and 30 seconds because it makes it a lot easier to time it. But either way, so you'll want to use your Constitution, Restoration, Invulnerability crystals on this wave and just mage the head whenever it pops up. And to avoid the damage from the tentacles, I recommend using range protect and killing the mage tentacles, but it also depends on which tentacles are near you. If there are a lot of mage tentacles and only a couple range tentacles, then you'll want to use magic protect and use dragon hide and kill the rangers, or magic protect and barrow's armor and kill the rangers. It's also worth noting that if you're in that situation and the head pops up, you can still mage the head while in full melee gear. It still hits quite well. I did a small test and it had about a 90% hit rate even when you're in full melee gear, so that's quite good. This wave will definitely use more brews by far than any other wave, so as long as you've got a bunch saved from doing the previous waves, you should be fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just make sure to keep killing tentacles, keep your timer ready and know when it spawns. I like standing in the southwest corner usually, and then when I know that it's going to spawn, if it hasn't appeared in the south side or the west side, then it means it's going to be in the east side, because the har'aken cannot spawn on the north, which is sort of odd. I don't know why they did that, but it is convenient. So just keep an eye on 2 sides, and then when the time is up, just check the other side if it's not on those sides yet. And that's everything. So hopefully with this guide you should be able to beat the fight kiln on your first or second try even, maybe third. But it shouldn't be too bad. And as I mentioned a couple times in this video, if you want to do the flinching method, take a look at the link in the description to Smokey9112's flinching guide. And if you're interested in doing fight kiln for money, take a look at my speed fight kiln guide. The link to that is also in the description. So hopefully this guide has been helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and that's everything. Thank you for watching.